Good morning everyone, and welcome back to another day in the life video. We are starting off this week with quite the bang because I will be going to the Taylor Swift concert tonight, which is really amazing, but also knowing that I have an exam this week and pretty much from 2 p.m. on I'm probably not going to be able to study. I got to really get in some good studying this morning. So I had a good breakfast this morning. I'm heading over to the library now. I'm going to knock out a bunch of the drawings, maybe work on some of my flashcards, and just get a good start to the week. So I'm going to head off and do that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Well, I'm all done with work. Sadly, I really didn't have that much time to actually do a lot of my homework and things like that, just because a lot was going on with the maintenance of the pool and the hot tub. So I kind of got caught up in that. So I'm really gonna have to be pretty productive tonight, hopefully, but I also do want a break since I know that I have been going quite a bit, just doing lots of stuff. So it will be hard to find that balance, but I'm heading back home now. I'll probably make myself some dinner. I think I have to call my parents for a little bit, and then I am going to really kind of hone in and study and get prepared for the week. I finally, since I didn't do it yesterday, created my to-do list for the week. It looks pretty manageable overall, but there are some things that I need to get done tonight so that I can be ready for tomorrow morning. So I'll definitely start with those first, and then starting to get more and more repetition on my anatomy content to make sure that I'm feeling prepared going into the week, since I know that really this is the week that I have to solidify and make sure that I'm comfortable, especially within the lab, identifying all of the structures. So that's one of my main goals. So I'm gonna head off and do that right now, and I'll talk to you guys soon. This morning in musculoskeletal conditions, we really kind of dove into an overview of just kind of the temporomandibular joint and some of the manual therapy techniques for examination, just kind of very surface level stuff, because we will actually dive into more of it later down the line with our coursework. But then afterwards, after having lunch and taking a little bit of a break, we ended up doing a long study session where we got through almost all of our learning objectives that we have for this anatomy exam coming up, except for one section. So definitely need a little bit of a brain break right now. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of time to relax, maybe do a few things around the house. But then I might finish up tonight doing a couple of the drawings, as well as doing a little bit on my research project, preparing for PowerPoints that we need to kind of have a initial rough draft for by tomorrow evening. So I'm going to make sure to work on those things. That's pretty much all I have planned for the rest of tonight, and I guess I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Well, this morning we had our anatomy review session, and even though in the middle of it I was still feeling kind of iffy on some of the subjects, I left it feeling pretty confident overall that I do have a good bit of the information kind of grasped, so I'm not too worried about it overall. I feel like I'm on a good track, and I just got to really pinpoint exactly what areas I need to make sure to study, which I feel like is what I'm going to do the remainder of tonight, because I went through all the drawings. I only missed like one or two things overall within all of the drawings that we have to do. So I'm very happy with my progress there. So I think I'm really going to start focusing on more of the content rather than the drawing pieces. But outside of that, today I met with my research partner, who's one of my classmates, that we just kind of divvied up exactly what we need to do to finish up our first rough draft of our PowerPoint for training clinicians who are going to be involved within the study that we're involved in. We were going to have a meeting for that on Friday. That's getting moved just because of some logistical things. So more on that later down the line. But overall, today, after that, we had our neuromuscular conditions class where we went into Parkinson's disease, talked about examination and intervention items that we work on with those patients. And then after that, I went into the anatomy lab just to take a look at some of the donors with my classmates and kind of feel out our comfort level, make sure that we can kind of identify all of the items that we may have to identify on the practical exam, because now tomorrow, we're going to have our last review lab in the anatomy lab where we'll have the opportunity to take kind of a practical exam on the donors. How the exam works with the donors is essentially there are 40 structures marked on any of the donors that we have within the lab, and you have 60 seconds at each of them to look around and be able to identify exactly what structure, organ, bone, landmark, whatever it is, and then you have to move on. You do have a 10-minute review, kind of double check your answers, take some more time on one of the ones you had more difficulty with, but we get to practice that tomorrow, which will be super nice, because then if I feel like I still need some practice on identifying some certain structures, I'll make sure to take the time after lab to review those before we have our bachelorette night and everything to kind of decompress before the exam on Thursday. But I was definitely very tired after all of that today. I took a little nap, and then once I woke up and had my dinner, I headed over to the library and practiced all of those drawings. So now that I'm pretty much done for the night outside of figuring out everything that I need to pinpoint in my studying so that I can really make the most of my time tomorrow, I'm pretty much just going to head to bed. So I'm going to finish up with that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Well, we're all done with classes for the day. Overall, it was a pretty long day, but it was good. We started the morning off with our musculoskeletal conditions, where we reviewed the examination and intervention items for the cervical spine, and we also did our exit ticket, which is just kind of an opportunity for us to kind of get graded and get some feedback on some of our manual skills. So overall, it went pretty well. I did well, my partner did well, so we're pretty happy with how it went, especially considering our minds are definitely not on musculoskeletal conditions right now, which this afternoon we had our review session where we went into the lab and kind of did a practice lab practical identifying 30 structures, so not quite the extent and same items as will be on the exam, but kind of gives you an idea of what you might need to work on. It was not ideal for me, but overall, I feel like the things that I got wrong are very manageable with just a tiny bit more studying and refining of some of the things that I've been learning. So that's pretty much what I'm going to spend the next probably hour and a half on, is just kind of focusing on those things, and then hopefully just kind of let my brain rest for a little bit the rest of tonight, watching The Bachelorette with the group, just kind of hanging out, making sure to get some good rest because the exam, at least the written exam, is going to be at 10 a.m. tomorrow until 1 p.m. And then the lab exam for me, since I'm in Group A, is going to be from, I think it's 2 until 3 p.m. And then they'll post the answer key just after 4 for anyone who wants to look at the lab exam and kind of see possibly how they did. So I'm going to get to that to just kind of make the most out of my time. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, probably after the exam is done. And that is our first exam done for the day. Overall, it went pretty well. I did see at least an initial score, which isn't going to be my final score because there were some free response sections that won. Some of them, I think I'm probably going to get at least 4 to 6 points back just on spelling because I think I used a U instead of an I in sus or vice versa. So I think I'll get another 6 points on top of what I already did. But even with that alone, I pretty much for sure passed, so I'm very happy with my score overall, and I am excited to see exactly what the end score will be because I feel like it went really, really well. I only took, I think it was like 21, 22 minutes to get in and out of there, so the multiple choice were pretty easy to go through. I think my weakest point that I really need to study a little bit more is the attachment sites of the muscles that were important. I feel like I understood the attachment sites, but didn't necessarily have them really solidified on which one attaches where outside of some of the easier ones such as like psoas major or things like that. So overall, I'm very happy with how it went, but I'm going to take a little bit since I have a decent amount of time until I have the lab exam at 2 p.m. to just decompress, relax a little bit. The first half is done, just got to finish strong on the second half from 2 until 3. So I'm going to get to that right now, and I will talk to you guys later. Well, we made it to the end of exam week, and overall, it ended up going all right. I don't have the final grades on anything yet, but it felt pretty good overall, and I feel like I'm in a good place. Today, I didn't do much recording just because this morning we had a lab with volunteers who were patients with Parkinson's disease, so it's a really great opportunity to get some hands-on experience with those type of individuals and see kind of the struggles that they go through on a day-to-day basis, as well as how they react, the rigidity in their muscles, and other things like that. But that's all that I have for this week. If you want to continue to see how my summer progresses as we dive more into other neuromuscular conditions, as long with more anatomy and more musculoskeletal conditions, make sure to check out my video next week. If you enjoyed this one, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. This has been KB DPT, and I'll see you all in the next video.